Blaine here from Plastering for Beginners. In today's video we're going to show you the best tips to get the perfect finish in your plastering. Let's get to it. Okay, so this is a video where I'm going to go through 8 tips which will make you a better plasterer and ultimately give you a better finish when you're doing it. So I'm just going to focus on the 8 main points really, and it's all to do with the points after applying a plaster. So this is a quick run through on how I do it, just literally applying it as flat as possible at the beginning, which is going to make the future efforts a lot easier. I've actually got videos dedicated just to applying a plaster, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. To be fair, this video is going to go into the points that you should be focusing on during the after stages, which will ultimately make you a better plasterer because of the way you apply it, the way you flatten it, the techniques you use to get a better finish. And I'm going to show you specific tips and tricks that you can use for the rest of your time as a plasterer. So this is to be used all the time, and the tips I'll show you in this video is what I use daily to make sure I get a better finish. And I'm sure that you'll really like the info coming out of this. So like I said, I'm not really going to dwell too much on the side of applying a plaster. I've done this in previous videos, and I'll try and leave a link at the end actually of applying a plaster. But for now I'm just going to show you specific techniques to make sure not only that you get a better finish, but you also get a flatter wall. And I'm going to go into specific points and exactly how to do it. So that is what we're going to be focusing on today. So I hope you enjoy the clips that I'm going to show you, and I hope that you use the tips that I'm going to show you in the rest of the video. So let's get to it. Let's do this. So the big tip, and I actually went against myself, contradicting myself. In the past I said you didn't have to do this. Usually a lot of people will trowel the plaster out first, but if you're good, if you get better, you can skip that stage.
Say what? Cut! No, no, no!
I'm a strong believer in this now. Best way to get a flat wall, which therefore increases your chance of getting a perfect finish, is to always flatten your first coat. I always flatten over the first coat before putting my second coat on. So you can use your trowel, which is fine, or you can do it slightly faster way. If you watched any of my videos, you know I love this. This is the Ox Speed Skim, and you literally this is the best way to get a flat wall because it acts like a rendering rule, like a derby, because you're going to get a straighter edge overall because of the length of it. You literally just flatten your plaster, and then what happens when you go over your first coat, you know it's going to be flat because this first coat is going to be flat. If we don't do this, this can sometimes leave ripple in the finished work because the first coat has got a bit of movement there. So this is tip number 1 for getting a flat wall and a perfect finish. So it's now time to start applying your second coat, and I am going to say one thing on this subject matter. I've had a few people complaining that the finish hasn't been that good and that the overall finish seems to be lacking. I'm talking about tiger stripes, there's been lots of blemishes, and it's often to do with the case that a lot of people are putting the second coat on too thin. Yeah, it is right, you usually do use a smaller amount, but make sure you still put in an even application of plaster on your second coat. If you're not, the first coat's going to show through, and this is where you start getting problems with blemishes, and the finish just won't look as nice. So put a nice even coat on. So I'm about to flatten this wall. Clean trowel, there's no fat, there's nothing that's going to affect the plaster. Always keep your trowel clean. Flatten it in. Collect a bit of flat fat, clean it off or use it to fill in somewhere else. You want to make sure it's always clear from plaster. Makes for a better, flat wall. When you're troweling up, make sure you don't have a load of fat in the trowel. Because what happens is when you're flattening the plaster, if you've got a load of plaster on your trowel, what you do is you'll force ripples into the wall you're trying to flatten, because this will actually affect the area you're working on. So when you're troweling up, scrape any fat off, either get rid of it or use it to fill it in, but don't trowel up with it on. If you do have excess fat, the best thing to do with it is on these beads. See, the biggest thing with finish is to make sure your beads are bang on. And what you want to do is, with the bit of fat, fill in along your beaded area and run down it. You want to make sure them beads are completely covered. You want to do it now as we're flattening the plaster, because if you don't, you'll have dips, you'll have hollows, so you need to make sure that you fill them in right now. And what you do is you get a bit of fat, put it on the edge, and run it along the bead. So when you're plastering, you're willing to improvise. So basically, there's a bit of a curve in this wall. And one of the things you've got to learn is to know which direction to trowel in. So if I kept troweling upwards, it just wouldn't work. So I've got to go and follow the curve. So this comes during the flattening stages. So now I've applied the plaster, put the second coat on, now we're flattening. What I'm doing, you've got to follow the curve and use the fat of your trowel to glide around it. You don't want to completely stamp it out, but you just want to follow it round. So what you've got to do is learn to improvise when you're plastering, and learn to be able to use your trowel in every movement. So as you can see, it's starting to get that curve. I'll show you. But you can see it there. So what we want is to follow it round and give it that bit. You want to show it off, but you don't want it to be too bad, otherwise it'd be pointy. So what we're doing is just manipulating the trowel to go around that. So that's that. That's another trick to get us better at plastering. Another great tip is to always make sure you've got a brew on the go. Since I've been at this house for about 7 hours and he's not made me one yet. So if you get one of them, go upstairs and make yourself one. Okay, so this one is a big one for me. The best way to get a decent finish, I think, is by sponge floating your walls. This makes your walls flatter, it gives a smoother, neater complexion, it makes everything look the same colour, it dries at the same time, and I generally believe that this is a bit of a game changer in plastering. So I've done a full tutorial of this, so I'll actually leave a link and a little tell you when at the end of the video. But I'll give you a quick demo on how it works. You'll literally spray up your wall. Give it a light haze, nothing big. And this is just a little Draper, this is from company Draper. So literally 2.5 litre, it's like a garden sprayer. About a tenner or something. You literally grab your sponge float. What we're doing, just going over the whole area with this, and this is basically floating the wall flat. Similar to what you do when you're rendering sets for finish. Spray your whole area, just a light haze of water, nothing mad. Light haze. Same again. Go around your plug sockets. And then long sweeps. And you hold your float flat to the wall. Don't at an angle, hold it flat, and that way you're actually floating the wall flat, like you would do rendering. And just glide it along. And this is basically making our wall flat. And I'll show you what we're left with. Watch this, take you away. You're actually left with a texture like that. And what we've done is we've basically, if you had any ripples, if you had any slobs, anything that's proud in your plaster, this would literally rub it out. So what you do is wait for about 5 minutes, wait for it to take up a little bit, and then you trowel it out. I'll show you that in a minute. Roughly been 5 minutes, and what I've got now is the Ox Ultra Flex trowel. You don't need the Ox one, but I do recommend you use a flexi trowel. Just helps to get rid of them lines, and it's just a nicer trowel to use at this stage. So what we're doing is just literally troweling the lines out that we've gave with the float. And what we're doing is just getting rid of that texture that's left behind and just trowel them out. But I must warn you, you need lots of light when using sponge float, because you need to be able to see where them little grains are, where the texture is, because if you don't get them out, they will stay and leave a little mark in your wall. So get rid of them. Again, another tip, running along the bead, we want to fill it in. It's quite nice to have a small wall where I don't need a hop up, because to be fair, I'm only a short ass, so being in a house like this is quite lovely, to be fair. The process is simple, we're just literally getting them out. So, take your time. Hey, so I've got one quick question. I just want to know, what flexi trowels are you using in your plastering? Are you using the Ox, are you using the nailer, are you using Raffina? I just want to know for the next video coming up about tools that people are using and when to use them. So leave your comments in the section below. Let us know what flexi trowels you're using, and actually let us know whatever tools you're using in plastering. Let's see what all the other plasterers are using. Let's see what's got the best vote. Just leave your comments in the section below if that's alright. That'd be great. Cheers. Let's crack on with the video. Here's a quick tip for you. Always scrape your beads back. Always keep them nice and crisp so you can see that shine. You want that all the way through. Keeps any plaster off the edges, stops it scraping back to the other wall. It just makes it look smart and crisp. Always keep them nice and crisp like that all the way through. Keep scraping them because you want them to look banging. Okay, so this is ready now for what we call a cross trowel. I'm sure you've seen it before, but this is one way I love getting the wall completely flat. This is where, when you do it in a wet trowel as well, if you've seen any of my other videos, it's the penultimate stage before we finish plastering. It's wet trowel, and that's where we go across our work horizontally. So, literally, trowel across your wall, and this gives you a nice smooth flat finish, and it goes against the grain of what we've been doing before. Now usually it would be a wet trowel, and I'll show you another clip after this one. Because I've done sponge floating, I class the sponge float as my wet trowel. So in this case, I'm literally just using the trowel dry. And you literally just go across your wall horizontally. And what this does, it goes against the uniform way of doing it. Because we've been applying the plaster upwards, we've been troweling upwards. To go against it, it just makes that wall a bit flatter, and it gives her a nicer flat finish. So, this is a must if you're plastering, and it's a must if you want a good finish. All you've got to do is see how low you can go. You're sorted. Now this is one of the maddest walls I've ever plastered. It's got a circle window, and it's got two different angles running down it. As you can see, it's definitely not straight. So watch me do a cross trowel on this little bad boy. So that's my tips on getting a perfect finish in plastering. Here's the mad wall of doom. Got circle windows, stop bees to a beam, and loads of little angles. As you can see, it looks okay. So that's it, another video from me today. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and leave any comments below on what you feel is the best way to get the perfect finish in plastering. Thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next one.